Yes.
As a court, please, my lord, we sorry for the late start. One of the accused number 4, was brought late from the correctional facility.
Yes. Still on the oath, sir.
Thank you, my lord. My lord, I just have 2 entries to refer the witness to. It's Exhibit UU1, which is the cell register for Foslorus Court for the 19th of June. The witness has already testified, my lord, regarding the occurrences of the 19th of June.
Yes.
Thank you, my lord. Sir, you remember yesterday you testified about your interaction with accused number 2 at Foslorus Magistrate Court.
Magistrate Court.
Okay.
That's correct, my lord.
You said what was the when did you leave Foslorus Magistrate Court?
Magistrate Court.
When our shift ended, my lord.
I mean the time.
She's cut.
2 o'clock, my lord.
2 o'clock. Okay. Because according to this entry, for the 19th of June, my lord, it's entry or it's serial number 271. The name is Ndanzi Bongani, and the offense is dealing in drugs. The case number is 534/6/20 from Pretoria North. Date of release 19 June, and the time of release is 13:30. Reason for release not enrolled. Remarks under paragraph 16 released. Do you understand what I'm trying to read from this entry? It's that accused number 2 was released at 13:30.
Yes, my lord.
But you are saying at 2 o'clock when you left, you were still giving a backup for accused number 2.
My lord, I mentioned that we were in the parking. The suspect went inside the magistrate court with Sergeant Mukhane. He was not accompanied by us. We were in the parking waiting until 2 o'clock to disperse.
When you left, you don't know where the accused number 2 was?
No, my lord. He went inside the magistrate's court.
And then from that end, when accused number 2 was released at 13:30, he is booked again midnight at 0040 at Pukeng Police Station. My lord, if I can just read the entry proper, it's Exhibit PP in brackets 1, date 20 June. Thank you. I'll read it for the record. It's the occurrence book, my lord, for the Pukeng Police Station on the date of 20 June 22, as per serial number 713, time 0040. Suspect detained, Sergeant Mukhane of National Cold Case Investigation, detained cell 2940620 Bongani Sandisontanzi on Pukeng, CAS 118-0620, possession of live ammunition, notice of rights as per SAP 14, number 80947284, read and explained to the accused and understood and detained with no injuries. But the question that I want to ask you is that for the period from First Lawyers Court, which is 1330, up to this period, you said you did not provide any escort duties. Is that your evidence?
That's correct, ma'am.
When I was 1330, nisuka lapha eForceras, yofika lesikhathi sika 0040 kusho 40 minutes emuva ka 12 wasebusuku. Anizange nimpheleze nimsize ukuthi nim escort umsolwa ngaleso sikhathi wathi cha.
But when you left, was there an exchange of shift within the metropolis? Are there any other metro police who came to give the escort to the SAPS when you...
Kwaba nabanye amapholisa asemetro afika athatha umsebenzi kinina naseke ninake ninishiya bona emsebenzini ukuthi baqhubeke ngescort?
No, my lord.
Cha.
Thank you, my lord. Just one more on the members of members of your unit. In all these three occurrences, which is the 19th, is the 24th, and is the and the 5th of June, when you provided services to the SAPS. It was only you and your crew members in all these three occasions. Am I correct? Or you were changing?
We were changing, my lord.
Okay.
Athi umhla 1924 nomhla 5 kuJune kwakunina kuphela yini enani phelezela abasola noma kokhona abanye ke nje ababe nabo babengena ke basizwa senza ukuthi hayi sasi shiyelana nabanye.
But you were not changing. All these three you attended. In all these three occasions.
My lord, it is different dates, so it's not consecutive dates. So other occurring dates, well, let me make an example, my lord. If I appeared on the 5th, if I was present on the 5th of June, on the 6th of June, it means there was someone else, my lord.
And I can't say indlela engayichaza ngayo ukuthi uma ukuthi bengisebenza umhla 5 June usho ukuthi wela ngilanda la umhla 6 June usho ukuthi kwangemi.
Okay, let me just rephrase. Maybe you did not understand my question. You were a unit, am I correct?
That's correct.
Nani ithimba kunjalo athi yebo.
Of more than 4 members.
Labantu abangaphezulu kwabane.
That's correct, my lord.
Athi yebo kunjalo.
Okay. But in these 3 occasions when you gave a backup to the SAPS, it was only you and your colleagues, only, not any other members.
And usikulezi ikhathi entathu uma nizoxhasa abesiphoyisa sase-South Africa usho ukuthi ke kwakuyinina ke nje ithimba lakho nje elali khona ngazo zonke lezi zikhathi.
It was members from our unit, my lord.
Hayi ababevela eqembini lami.
Okay. No. Thank you. Last one, my lord. You said your supervisor is still available, Mr. Singh. Is that correct?
That's correct, my lord, but he was redeployed. He's at the equestrian unit.
Okay.
But lo umkhuzi wami akasasebenzi nathi wasuswa lapho sisebenzela la kuthiwa equestrian unit.
Okay, can I ask you when you finish to give the details for Mr. Singh to the state advocate for Mr. Singh to be called? Thank you, my lord. I've got no further questions.
Examination.
As a court, please, my lord, we just want to make sure the court has got Exhibit UU1, the copy of the cell register from First Lawyers Court. We handed it up on Friday together with the other exhibits. It's the 2 pages that have been stapled together. I think it will be at that will be the last page of the bundle that relates to accused 2. Be the last page of exhibit MM. There's MM, then MM. Yes, MM, then MM1 in brackets. Then attached to that will be the register. So it's 2 pages stapled together.
I don't seem to have it. Just make a copy for me. Okay, please.
Thank you.
Make a note. Exhibit UU1, no?
Yes. Now, Constable Jonathan, it was put to you by counsel for accused number 1 and 2 that both accused aver that there was a form of assault, tubing, and that you were present during those occasions. And various occasions were put to you where you would have been present, like at or near a garage in Alberton, where it was said that you pushed your front seat towards the back where the accused was sitting and pressed him hard, and that Sergeant Mabena was putting a plastic bag over his head, and that thereafter you proceeded to an area which it was said is a dumping site with steel tanks where you stopped, and that you took accused number 2 out of the vehicle, uncuffed one of his hands and handcuffed him to a steel pole, and it was also put to you that there was another occasion where a device was used to electrocute accused number 2 on his stomach, and that during the process of using that device, a plastic was taken from his head, and that he started bleeding from his nose. And thereafter, it was put that the party proceeded to Chris Hani Baragwanath Hospital, and it was also put to you that from there they traveled to Orlando near disused ATMs, that you escorted them and the accused was poured with water, and it was during winter. Now, given all these allegations of assault, are you aware of the procedure that one must follow if they feel aggrieved, if they feel that their rights were violated, if they feel that they've been assaulted? Is there a process that a suspect must follow if there is such a complaint of assault?
My lord, the suspect would be able to open a case, my lord, of assault.
Kuthiwa lana umsolo oqala nosibili kuthiwa bashawa and kwesinye isikhathi ke bathathwa bayiswa nasegaraji la ngase-Alberton. Kuthiwa lapho ke wena waphusha isitulo wasiphushela emuva lapho kwafika wacindezela umsolo wakhona ngesitulo. Kuthiwa usergeant wathatha uplastic wawufaka phezu kwekhanda lakhe nasenisuka ke nendaweni la khona la kudapha khona izinto and la kukhona khona iy'nsimbi nafika nama kuthiwa wena wakhipha umsolo emotweni wasumbophela wakhipha oyeduza nkosi usumbophela kulezo y'nsimbi. Kuthiwa khona bona umshini wasetshenziswa-ke ukuthi bawuthintise la esiswini sakhe, and kuthiwa futhi-ke wathi uma kususwa uplastiki ekhanda lakhe kwabonakala ukuthi wopha igazi ngamakhala. Kuthiwa nasuka-ke naseniya Christian Baragwanas lapho naphinde nasuka naye Orlando la ufika khona khona la kunama-ATM khona angasasebenzi. Kuthiwa wena kwawuphelezela ngaleso sikhathi. Kuthiwa-ke umsola uthi wathelwa ngamanzi abandayo kuyisebusika. Manje-ke kuko konke-ke lokho wabuza ukuthi uyakwazi yini ukuthi yiphi indlela yokuthi umuntu akwazi ukufaka isikhalazo sakhe mayelana nokuthi-ke amalungelo akhe awazange agcinwa. Wasithi cha hayi angavula icala.
And in fact, it was put to you that the accused was traumatized by this incident. Are you aware if such a charge was laid against you?
Umsola-ke uthi wahlukumezeka ngaso lezo y'khathi. Uyazi yini ukuthi khona icala lokuhlukumeza lafakwa?
No, my lord.
Cha.
Did the accused perhaps file any complaint with your employers, Ekurhuleni Metro?
Khona isikhala asifaka umsola emetro emaphoyiseni?
Not that I'm aware of, my lord.
Cha nginalo lolu lwazi.
You mentioned that you were the first to arrive during cross-examination by counsel for accused number 1 and 2. You mentioned that you were the first to arrive at Moroka police station at about 6:30 in the morning.
Bekele ukuthi kwakho wena waqala wafika eMoroka police station ngo-6 not yet.
And more or less, when did Sergeant Mukhani arrive with accused number 2?
Sergeant Mukhani wafika ninike nomsolo wesibili.
Did they find you there, or what was the position?
Wakuthola lapho noma kokwenzekani?
I found him there, my lord.
Ngamthola lapho.
And was Sergeant Mukhani alone, or was he with someone else?
Sergeant Mukhani wayedwa yini noma nomunye umuntu?
At the vehicle he was alone, my lord.
Hayi emotweni wayedwa.
I'm not sure if he was alone on the day.
Angazi ukuthi wayedwa yini ngalelo langa.
Thank you, madam. Those are the only aspects we wanted to take up with you.
Sir, your experience as a police person is for how long?
Neminyaka ingaki-ke usebenzela isipayisi?
2 by tomorrow, my lord, it will be 9 years, my lord.
9 years.
athi kusasa kuzobe sekuphela iminyaka eyisishiyagalolunye.
Let me tell you what has happened with the police. After Steve Biko was murdered, right? The South African police introduced a method whereby police who were manning cells would fill in an OB, as you have been put to you, an occurrence register book. In the afternoon, when the sergeant comes, he asks everybody in the cell, any complaints? One person may say, they didn't give me food. One may say, Ratamokateng assaulted me. And somebody else may say, whatever. Are you aware of that practice?
Yes, my lord.
Right.
Ake ngikube kwathuleleke nansi into eyake yenzeka. Kuthiwa ngesikhathi ke emva kokuthi kushawe uSteve Biko, amaphoyisa ke aletha le ndlela yokusebenza ukuthi amaphoyisa ke ayithume kunabasola basemaseleni kwakubhalwa lapha kule nto ekuthiwa OB, occurrence book, kusho ukuthi ila kubhalwa khona izinto ezenzeka. Manje la wayefika usayitsheni efika ntambama asifike azobuza abasola athi ke kukhona yena onesikhalazo, omunye ngathi ke hayi cha abasinika ukudla, omunye athi hayi uRatamkhwahle ngumshayeli.
Right, and the other aspect of that police sergeant who is in charge of the cells, when he comes in, he writes down every complaint from each and every of the cellmates. Are you aware of it?
Yes, my lord.
Right.
Usayitshenge lapho ratha ubhala zonke izikhalazo zabasola abangaphakathi. Wathi uyawazi lokho, wathi yebo ngiyawazi.
And pertinently, if he sees, he physically inspects the inmates. That's why when a person is booked in, some of these entries, they say, booked in by Sergeant Mokhado without injuries. He just doesn't write without injuries. He inspects the inmate in the presence of Mokhano who is booking him in. And if there's an injury there, he's obliged to report it. Are you aware of that practice?
That's correct, man.
Athi ke uma ukuthi ke kukhona ke ochazayo umezobhala lapha usayitsheni uyabhala ukuthi uma kulethwa abasolwa lapho bafakwe lapho bengalimele, and uma kuukuthi kukhona ke olimele ke kufanele usho ukuthi no, uma ukuthi balethwe usayitsheni othize bavele bathi ukuthi lo sayitsheni ulethe labantu laba bengalimele, wathi uyakwazi lokho athi yena.
In the morning, it's a new shift normally. A new sergeant or cell officer comes in. Each and every cell he conducts what is called a parade. Do you know that?
That's correct, man.
Bathi ke kuseni ke uma ngena usayitsheni omusha ufanele ke ahambe ke ayohlola lokubizwa ngeparade kulo wonke amasela, wathi yena.
He's got a register, OB, and he asked each and every inmate, during the time, assuming the last inspection was at 8 o'clock the previous night, during the time 8 o'clock up to today, now, do you have any complaints? Are you aware of that practice?
Yes, my lord. They also refer to it as a handing over, my lord.
Yes.
Athi ke ekseni uma ngena omusha usayitsheni ufayithatha le OB incwadi le OB ahambe konke amasela, athi ke usukusela ngo8 wayizolo makuthi ibhalwe ngo8 ngayizolo, athi kukhona yini oshinto vele khona yini onesikhalazo, bafanele kube nempendulo lapho bese yabhala phansi uthi yakwazi lento, athi yebo ngiyakwazi. Manje sekujwayele ukubizwa ngokuthi i-hand over.
If during that period Ratamokoteng says, I'm sick, I was vomiting, the sergeant at arms there is obliged to make provision for medical attention. Are you aware of it?
Yes, my lord.
Athi koma ukuthi ke uRatamokoteng uthi lapho ke ngiyagula futhi ke ngiyaphalaza ngiyahlanza kufanele ukuthi bakwazi ukumenzela indlela ukuthi athole usizo.
That okay. Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay. And that surgeon or officer has to annotate that complaint that I'm sick, I'm vomiting, arrange for an ambulance, arrange for the transportation of the inmate to a hospital. Do you know that?
Yes, my lord.
Athe lo sergeant lo kumethela ukuthi kukhona isikhalazo esikhona ufanele abhale phansi futhi ke esebhalileyo uchaza ukuthi khona leyo nto ufanele azame ukuthola iambulance athole into engathatha lo lesisigulane isise esibhedlela athi yebo ngikwazi.
And there are standing orders. If an inmate has been assaulted, more especially if that inmate can say he was assaulted by policeman Ratamkwatli, the sergeant at the cells there has got to annotate that complaint, and he doesn't have to take that man to court or to hospital. He's going to call his superior to come and see that exigency. Kenja Pandai, do you know that?
Not in depth, my lord.
But have you heard about it?
No, my lord.
You have never heard of a policeman being charged for having assaulted an inmate in the cells?
I mean the process up to that extent, my lord.
Yeah, fine. I appreciate that. But have you ever heard of a policeman being charged?
Yes, my lord.
Of having assaulted an inmate in the cells?
Yes, my lord.
Yeah. Okay.
Uma ke kukhona umsolwa oshayiwe iphoyisa lelo kuthiwe ngishayile liphoyisa kuthiwa Ratamkwatli fanele kubhalwe lapho ukuthi cha ushaye nangu uyakhalaza futhi ke lokho ke akuyiswe enkantolo iphoyisa lelo fanele liphakamisele kobaphethe umkhuzi wabo achaze ukuthi hayi ngishayiwe wathi uyakwazi lokho athi akona angikaze ngikubona kodwa angikwazi.
Do you have any experience with the IPD?
What? iPad, my lord.
iPad, yeah.
No, my lord.
You don't, okay. Sergeant Mukhano maybe he has.
Bathi wakwathintana ke nalamaphoyisa wakasebenzisana namaphoyisa e-IPD usho ukuthi labaka abahlola okwenziwe izona ezenziwe ngamaphoyisa mhlambe amacala enziwe ngamaphoyisa athi yeah.
But regarding the fact that you are alleged and accused of having viciously assaulted accused number 1 and 2, I take it, when they were being escorted, and that you participated actually in the mass assault of both of them in the presence, they were assaulted in your presence by other inmates. There was Geninda, there was Raputi, and there was Mapumulo, there was Buthelezi, yourself. Up to now, has IPID never investigated you? Or have they investigated you?
No, man.
Manje kuthiwa lana ke wena ke kuthiwa wena uke wafaka isandla ekushayeni abasolwa kubikwa noGininda noRaphuti noMaphumulo noButhelezi. Manje ke abantu beIT bayeke beze bazokuhlola lo wathi cha.
And you just answered Mr. Baloyi, and you maintain that no criminal charges of assault, GBH, attempted murder were preferred against you because, according to the evidence led as an assertion on behalf of the 2 accused, there's a suggestion that Rapuli actually asked, is he still alive? Meaning that a senior guy like him saying that it means somebody was so viciously assaulted that it was possible that Ehan Frek is going to die. Are you with me? Are you still alive? Is he still alive? And no charges have been preferred against you? Nothing?
None at all.
manje kuthiwa khona la liphoyisa loraport eliphezulu impela nje elake lafika labuza lo mbuzo uthi kanti lo muntu usaphila yini na uthi ukuthi lo muntu lo ayishayiwe ngempela uza aze ukuza lo mbuzo futhi la kukho icala elavula athi cha.
Okay, any questions arising? Mr. Ngomezulu?
Quickly approach case number 2.
Okay, fine.
From the questions that are arising from the court, it's my instruction from accused number 2, the special accused number 2, to say, he said it in Zulu. I'll say it and interpret it to mean icala alboli. Crime does not prescribe. Do you know that?
Nje umsolo wesibili uPaul nakho owathi icala alboli. Yakwazi lo.
Just say that again, my lord.
Icala alboli, meaning he can open a criminal case at any given stage. Do you know that?
That's. Oh, I can confirm, my lord.
Athi hayi no uthi usengalivula icala ngoba akwenze ukuthi icala libone. Athi yebo.
Another question relating to the first question asked by the court. Have you detained a person or a suspect in any police office, police station?
Yes, I have.
Kwakwabalela isibosha police station nanomi iphathi yebo.
Have you gained access to the cells where the prisoners or the suspects are kept?
Okwafinya yini emaselini laba sola bebekwa khona begcinwa khona?
No, my lord.
Athi cha.
Have you ever, in your 9 years experience, interviewed any inmate that is already in prison or kept in custody?
Manje kule minyaka eyishagalolunye usesiphoyiseni wakwayo uyini wayokhulumisana nesibosha esiboshiwe singaphakathi?
No, my lord.
Athi cha.
All right. Have you, during the time of detaining a particular suspect, have you heard any complaint directed to the person in charge of the cells to say one of the inmates is complaining of being assaulted by a police officer or the person in charge of the cells? Have you ever heard about that?
Okwakuzwa yini lapho kuthiwa khona isibosha sakhipha isikhalazo sathi sishaywe silinyeziwe okwakuzwa yini lo?
No, my lord.
Cha.
And all this, the version that has been put by accused number 1 and number 2 against you in person in a plural form, your answer cannot be fair because those allegations are directed to you. This means if you were asked by my colleague in the court to say, have you assaulted them, we expected the answer no. Sure. Would you be in a position to say, yes, I did assault them?
Manje into esingazathi masibheka sibona ukuthi uma kuthiwa wena ubuzwa ukuthi umsola uthi wamhlukumeza wamshaya, impendulo vele ke singayilindela lapho ukuthi wena uthi cha. Kodwa ke uma kuukuthi ke kuyenzeka yini ukuthi wena usho, kungenzeka yini ukuthi usho ukuthi yebo kulo mbuzo njengalo?
Thank you. No further question.
Yes, Mr. Munisi.
No question that I can.
Mr. Ngamalo.
Thank you, Madam. No question.
Mr. Sharon.
Mr. Jonathan, Have you ever been in charge of the cells wherein inmates are kept at the police station?
Ake waba nemsebenzi wokubheka isela abasola begcina khona police station?
No, my lord.
Cha.
Okay. Have you ever been involved in the registering and completion of the occurrence books at the police stations?
Wena waba nini nemsebenzi wokuthi ugcwalise i-occurrence book yase police station?
No, my lord.
Cha.
And in all your previous experience of 9 years, you have never worked in the CSC where the inmates are controlled if they are in custody of the SAPS?
Kule minyaka yakho awukaze nje usenze nabasola uma ukuthi babhaliswe ngaphansi kwe-CSC?
That's correct, my lord.
Yebo kunjani?
Even if there would have been any other complaints that are made at the CSC, you wouldn't know how they will be reported.
Ukuthi uma kukhona nesikhalazo esingabe sifakwa lapha e-CSC ungeke wazi ukuthi sifakwa kanjani, akunjani?
No, my lord.
Thank you.
Sir.
I have no further questions.
Yeah, just that's a matter which this court can take judicial notoriety or judicial occurrence thereof. Of course, have you ever heard in South Africa that a prisoner was killed in the cells? Have you ever heard that?
Wakwezwa yini kuthiwa khona isiboshwa esabulawa emaseleni? Awukuzwa lokho?
Yes, my lord, I have.
Athi yebo ngake ngakuzwa.
Any questions, Ryan? No. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, my lord.
You are excused.
As the court pleases, my lord, the state calls the next witness. The witnesses' names are Yule, Y-U-L, Yule. Y-U-L, Yule.
Yule, Raina.
Then the other name is Craig, C-R-A-I-G. Craig. And the surname is Lisering, is L-I-E-S-E-R-I-N-G. Lisering. The witness is going to testify in respect of Exhibit JJ.
Exhibit JJ.
Yes. He is not on the witness list, my lord.
Okay, fine. Yes, sir, the witness in.
Please say your names and your surname.
Yule Craig Lisering.
Do you have an objection to taking the prescribed oath?
No.
Do you feel that the prescribed oath is binding on your conscience?
No.
If what you're going to say before this court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, please raise your hand and say, so help me God.
So help me God.
So son, my lord.
So is it correct that you are a constable in the service of Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Police Department?
That's correct, my lord.
Athi qiniso yini ukuthi constable esiphoyiseni sasekurhuleni wathi yebo?
Is it correct that you joined Ekurhuleni Metro on 1 January 2008?
That's correct, my
Qiniso
lord.
yini ukuthi wajona ekurhuleni ngalilo ngabalibekile wathi yebo?
Is it correct that at some point there was a unit in the Ekurhuleni Metro known as SWAT?
That is correct, my lord.
bathi kwayiqinisweni ngaphansi kwesiphakamiso sasekuruleni kwakukhona iqembu elalibizwa ngokuthi SWAT. Athi yebo.
What did that acronym stand for?
Special Weapons and Tactics.
Manje ke lena ke iSWAT leli limele ukuthi Special Weapons and Tactics.
Were you at some point attached to this unit, SWAT?
Manje nawe akalisebenzela
Yes, I
leli
was.
qembu. Athi yebo.
For which period?
Isikhathi siphi?
From 2008 November till the 30th of June 2022.
Athi ngaqala November 2008 ngaya ngomhla 30 kuJune 2022.
Does this unit still exist?
Leli qembu
No.
lisakhona? Athi cha.
Yes, what happened to the unit?
It was disbanded on the 30th of June 2022.
Ayahlukanisa ke leli qembu ngomhla 30 kuJune 2022.
Now, on the 24th of June 2020, were you on duty?
Yes, I was.
Ngomhla 24 kuJune 2020 wasesezini. Athi yebo.
Do you know the previous witness, Constable Jonathan?
Yes.
Lo fakazi obekhona la usanda kuphuma kuthiwa uConstable Jonathan yamazwi. Athi yebo.
Is it correct that he is your colleague?
Kuyiqiniso ukuthi
correct.
sisebenza ndawonye. Athi yebo.
Can you tell the court in your own words what happened on the 24th of June 2020 regarding this matter?
Ngitshela inkantolo ngamakho amazwi ukuthi kwenzekani ke ngomhla 24 kuJune 2020.
On the 24th of June 2020, I was on duty. I started working at 10 o'clock
Mhla 24 kuJune 2020 ngayisemsebenzini ngaqala ngo-10
in the morning,
wasekuseni.
and my off-duty time was 10 o'clock in the evening. So I worked a 12-hour shift.
Futhi ngasebenza ke ishift yamahora ayishumi nambili ngoba ngangifale ngiqale ngo-10 ekuseni ngize ngiyoshayisa ngo-10 wasebusuku.
I was a crew on that motor vehicle, Bravo Zulu 35, Mike Charlie, Golf Papa. It's a white Audi.
Bravo
And-
Zulu 35
Mike Charlie, Golf Papa.
Golf Papa.
And Mr. Jonathan was the driver of the motor vehicle.
Manje ngihamba le moto kwaku Z35 MC GP lapho ke Constable Jonathan wayemshayeli wale moto.
We were tasked to assist Sergeant Mohane in Pretoria at Moat SAPS.
Manje sasithola umsebenzi wokuthi siyasiza uSergeant Mukhane wasePretoria eMoat SAPS.
We arrived approximately 1 o'clock in Pretoria at Moat SAPS.
Safika ngo-1 eMoat SAPS.
On our arrival at Moat SAPS, we found Sergeant Mohane
Manje sathi masifika lapha eSAPS sathola ke uSergeant Mukhane.
in the car park.
Wayese la kwakhona imoto.
He informed us that we
Yes,
gon-
he made a report to you.
Yes.
What happened?
Yes, he informed us that we will be assisting him to escort a suspect to Boksburg Magistrates Court.
Wasitshela ukuthi sizobe simsiza ngokuthi aphelezele umsolwa amise eBoksburg enkantolo kaMantshi.
As indicated, my lord, the state will be calling Sergeant Mukhan.
Yes.
Yes, you may proceed.
After Sergeant Mohane briefed us, he went inside the CSC to
Emva
fetch the suspect.
emva kokuthi asitshele uSergeant Mukhane ukuthi uzokwenzani, wayesengena ngaphakathi eSAPS eyolanda umsolwa.
He then returned after a few minutes to the car park where we were waiting.
Emva komzuzunyana wabe seyabuya kula esasipake khona imoto simlindile.
And he was walking with the accused that is in front of court, number 2.
wayehamba yena umsolo lapha phambi kwenkantolo umsolo wesibili.
The accused's hands was handcuffed in front.
Izandla ke zikamboshwa zazifakwe ozankosi zingaphambi komzimba.
Sergeant Mohane placed the suspect in his motor vehicle.
Sergeant Mohane waseke beka ke umsolo emotweni yakhe.
And he informed us that he is ready to proceed to Boksburg Court.
Wasesitshela ukuthi selungele ukuthi angathatha lolu hambo lokuya eBoksburg emahhovisini emanje.
We proceeded to Boksburg Court immediately.
Sasiyasuka ke silibangise eBoksburg.
And on our arrival at Boksburg,
Sathi masifika eBoksburg,
we used the entrance where they normally take the suspects in, because there's a entrance at the back of Boksburg Court.
sabe sisebenzisa le ndawo kungena khona iziboshwa engasemuva.
Sergeant Mohane took the suspect out of the vehicle,
Sergeant Mohane wasekhipha umsolo emotweni.
and we escorted them inside the court, Boksburg Court.
Manje ke sisibaphelezela ukuthi bayongena enkantolo yaseBoksburg.
We proceeded to room 2 at Boksburg Court.
So sisiyaqhubeka siya egumbini ekuthiwa room 2 laseBoksburg Court.
On our arrival at room 2, there was a white female.
Masifika lapho kulelo gumbi lelo room 2 kwekunomuntu wesifazane omhlophe.
Actually, as we were walking down the passage, she came down from the opposite direction.
Ushuthi yena sathi masehla ngepassage naye wayehla ngepassage.
And we met each other in the passage in front of room 2.
Sahlangana naye kulelo passage lelo phambi komnyango wase room 2.
I found out afterwards from Sergeant Mohane that it was the magistrate, Mrs. Cronier.
Ngezwa kamumva ngitshelwa umkhana ukuthi loyo ke kwakuyimantshi uMrs Cronier.
And she asked us, is it necessary for us, why were we so many officers escorting the person that we brought to our office? And she also requested our appointment cards.
Wasibuza ukuthi kunesidingo yini sokuthi sibe baningi kangaka abaphelezela umsolo. Sisibuza ke futhi ke nalamakhadi asetshenziswayo omazisi abasemsebenzini.
Myself and Constable Jonathan handed over our appointment cards to Sergeant Mohane.
Mina ke no Sergeant Jonathan samnika ke uSergeant Mohane amakhadi ethu.
And after we handed over our appointment certificates, we went outside.
Emva kokuthi ke simnike certificates zokuqashwa sasiphumela ngaphandle.
But in the passage also, before we left, we also noticed a person in a suit.
Manje sathi siselapho saqaphela ukuthi kukhona indoda egqoke isuit.
And
Sorry, where did you notice this person in a suit?
he was standing in front of the magistrate's office, in front of room number 2.
Manje sayiqaphela le ndoda ngoba ime phambi kwehhovisi lemantshi lelo gumbi lesibili.
And it was also made known to us by Sergeant Mohane that it was the attorney of
It's fine, Sergeant Mohane will testify about that, but do you personally know who that person was?
Wena
No.
wawazi yini ukuthi ubani loyo? Cha angimazi.
Yes, you may proceed.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, you may proceed.
Okay, after that we left the court building and we went outside to the car park and waited.
Sase siphuma ke kuleso sakhiwo senkantolo saya ngaphandle siyolinda khona.
They were busy for about approximately a period of 3 hours.
Hayi babe matasa ke lapho ngaphakathi isikhathi singalinganisa amahora amathathu.
And after that, we were called round about 6 o'clock by Sergeant Mohane.
Emva kwalokho ke sasesibizwa uSergeant Mkhane isikhathi kwakuyikhathi zo-6.
And he informed us that he is ready to leave, we must come and assist.
Wayesesichazela ukuthi uselungele ukuthi angahamba sesingeza sizomsiza.
We went inside and escort Sergeant Mohane and the suspect to the motor vehicles that was parked at the back entrance.
Sasingena ngaphakathi sizopheleza uSergeant Mkhane nomsolwa simisa kulezi moto ezazibhakwe ngemuva.
And then Sergeant Mohane placed the suspect in the same vehicle that they transported him to Boksburg Magistrates Court.
Manje uSergeant Mkhane ke wayesefaka umsolwa kule moto ababeyisebenzisa uma iletha umsolwa eBoksburg Court.
Once the suspect was secured in the motor vehicle, we then proceeded to Moord SAPS in Pretoria.
Awutheke segcinwe kahle emotweni umsolwa sesihamba siya ePretoria eMoord Police Station.
On arrival at Moord SAPS, Sergeant Mohane took the suspect out of the vehicle and booked him back at the CSC.
Sesifikile ke Moord uSergeant Mkhane wayemkhipha umsolwa emotweni wayesembhalisa ngaphakathi eCSC.
When he was done with it, he came back and he thanked us for assisting him.
Esekwenzileke lokho waphumela ngaphandle weza wazosibonga.
And we all dispersed from Moord SAPS.
Saseke siyahamba suka ke lapho siyahamba eMoord SAPS.
Now, you mentioned that you handed your appointment certificate to Sergeant Mohane. You know what the purpose thereof was?
He made a photocopy because the magistrate requested photocopies of our appointment certificate.
Manje uthe wena benifanele uSergeant Mkhane certificate zenu zokuqashwa yebo ukuthi bayifuna ukuthi bayokwenza amakhophi alezo certificate bese sinikwa emanjini.
I just want to show you an attachment which was marked B to Exhibit JJ. Can you just identify this document?
This is my appointment certificate.
Hayi lokho ke sona certificate sami sokuqala.
Now, did you notice any injuries on this suspect that you identified as accused number 2?
No, I didn't notice any visible injuries.
Ekubhekeni umsolwa wesibili wabona yini lapho ayelimele khona cha ngeke ngibone elimele ndawo.
Thank you, Madam. This one.
Thank you, Mr. Zulu.
Mr. Lissaren, in relation to your evidence in court, you said upon your arrival at Boksburg Court, is it your evidence that you found the magistrate at that court? Or the magistrate found you in that court? What is your evidence?
First, bakho ke uthe namthola imanje leyo enkantolo noma imanje yathola nina enkantolo.
We found the magistrate in the passage on our way to our office.
Athi sahlangana nemanje passagini sendleleni yokuya ehhovisi yakhe.
The evidence of the magistrate to testify was that when she arrived from Phosphorus, as she was requested by her senior magistrate, Mrs. Victorious, Mrs. Duplessis, upon her arrival at Boksburg Court, on the passage, she saw heavily armed Metro police officers. That's her evidence. Do you agree that that evidence is contrary to what you are telling the court?
manje ukuthi ke yena wasuke eFort Lawrence waye Boksburg ethunyelwe manager yakhe uMrs Duplessis wathi ke uma sefika lapha eBoksburg wahlangana nethimba lamaphoyisa elalihlome kakhulu.
As have testified that when we walked down the passage, she was coming in the opposite direction.
Njengoba sengishilo ke sathi masehla ngepassage sahlangana naye ezathini.
So that means what the magistrate or Mrs. Cronje told the court that she found you in the passage was not true.
As a please, I don't know whether it's competent for this witness to give an opinion on the evidence.
That Mrs. Cronje was the one who was speaking the truth. Are you with me, sir?
My Lord, may I rephrase it to say, let me get back to the question that I asked you. What you told the court now, as per the evidence that Mrs. Cronje told the court that she found you on the passage. That means upon her arrival, she found you on the passage. And your evidence, you say you saw Mrs. Cronje or the white lady on the passage. Do you agree that those two testimonies are not the same?
Yes, I know ukuthi Mrs. Cronje wathi wanithola nisephasejini nani ke nithi nahlangana naye ephasejini. Yabona ukuthi lezo zinto ezimbili ziyehluka.
That's your version, my lord. I was not here when Mrs. Cronje testified, so I cannot dispute or anything.
Ngingekho uMrs. Cronje letha ubufakazi angeke ngikwazi ukuphikisa ubufakazi bakhe.
When I heard your testimony, you said after you entered the building of the court, at the back of the court, then Sergeant Mkhano took the suspect and you followed and you entered the court building.
Njena kumanifika lapha ecourt nafika lapha ngemuva Sergeant Mkhano sethatha umsolo angena naye esakhiweni leso senkantolo.
That's correct, my lord.
Yebo kunjalo.
Then you proceeded to room 2.
That's correct, my lord.
Wathi yebo kunjalo.
What were you going to do at room 2?
Nani wenzani room 2?
I did not have any idea what we're going to do there because I was just requested to escort Sergeant Mkhano.
Angakwazi ukuyokwenziwa lapha eroom 2 ngoba mina ngangiphelezele nje uSergeant Mkhano.
All right. Who informed you that you must go to room 2?
Bana nje uthi ne room 2.
Sergeant Mkhano lead us to room 2.
Sergeant Mkhano uyena wasikholela room 2.
Okay. Have you, on the passage, did you ever discuss or talk to the white lady whom you later known as the magistrate? Have you had a discussion with her? You personally?
Nakwazi uba nengxoxo nalo umuntu osifazana owagcina uthola ulwazi lokuthi magistrate Renier.
Yes, I did. When she requested my appointment certificate, then I asked her why does she request it, and she explained to me why does she need my appointment certificate.
Yeah,
and I complied with her request to hand over my appointment certificate.
No, sathi ukukhulumisana ngawo wasicela lo incwajana zokuqashwa kwethu saseke simbuza ukuthi usidingelani wayesechaza ukuthi usidingelani sesimnika lezo ncwajana.
There's evidence that you were heavily armed. I just want to know, were you in full uniform as well?
Yes, I was in full uniform.
So ngalelo langa yena nihlome kakhulu nanigqoke wonke yini i-uniform yesemsebenzi not yebo.
Were you in possession of firearms?
Yes, I was, my lord.
Naniphethe izikhali eziyisibhamu yebo.
How many
2 firearms.
Uthi hayi ngangiphethe ibhamu ezimbili.
per person?
That's correct, my lord.
Ngamunye umuntu wathi yebo.
Was she ever, or did she ever remark as to whether she was intimidated by your presence or not?
Waphawula yini ukuthi mhlambe khona ukuzizwela ukuthi uyethuswa ile ndlela enaningi ngayo?
I cannot comment on whether she commented if she was intimidated, but she just asked us why were we so heavily armed.
Angeke ngiphawule ukuthi yini indaba noma wayezizwa kunokumsabisa okukhona, kodwa ke mina ngikhumbulayo ukuthi wasibuza ukuthi yini indaba sihlome kangaka.
What was your response then? From the question, why are you so heavily armed?
Wena namphendulana thini?
Well, firearms is part of our uniform.
Indlela esigqoka ngayo sifanele sibe ngayo emsebenzini sifanele siphathe nekhaya.
Was it the answer given to her?
Iyona impendulo yena wathi yebo.
All right. Did she ask did she mention the reason why she wanted your appointment certificate?
Wangichazela yini ukuthi yini indaba edinga lezincwajana zami zokuqashwa?
She explained that she is the person that is going to interview the suspect, and therefore she needs our details because we are the ones that brought the suspect to Boksburg Magistrate Court.
Wangichaza ukuthi yena-ke uyena kwayokhuluma nomsolwa manje uyayidinga imininingwane yethu njengabantu abalethe umsolwa eBoksburg Magistrate.
Your details means the appointment certificate of all the officers that were present at that time on that passage.
Manje umusho ukhuluma imininingwane usho ukuthi imininingwane yawo wonke lamaphoyisa ahlangana nawo esephasejini.
I can only comment on myself and not on the other officers that was in the passage.
Ngingaphawula ngami kuphela ngeke ngikwazi ukuphawulela laba abanye amaphoyisa.
All right. But you cannot tell the court as to why other officers did not give their particulars to the magistrate.
Manje akwazi ukuchaza ukuthi yini indaba amanye amaphoyisa engakwazanga ukunika imininingwane yawo kule manje.
I cannot answer on their behalf. They are the ones that has to come and account for as to why they didn't comply with the instruction.
Angeke ngikwazi baphendula ibona abafanele bazosiphendula ukuthi yini indaba bengakwazanga ukwenza njengoba beyalelwa manje.
When you traveled to Pretoria Mort to escort Sergeant Mkhano and the suspect from Pretoria, how long did it take you to travel from Pretoria Mort to Boksburg Court?
Kwenthatha isikhathi engakanani-ke ukusuka eMort ePretoria kuyofika eBoksburg?
Well, it's a trip that is approximately about 45 minutes. It all depends also on the traffic.
Hayi ukuthi lolo hambo lungathatha amaminithi amashumi amane nanhlanu. Futhi-ke lokho futhi kuncike ekutheni izimoto zingakanani emgwaqweni.
All right. The man you saw also on the passage was wearing a suit. What color of the suit was it?
Manje le ndoda naye ithola igqoke isuti lapha ephasijini yayigqoke isuti enombala onjani?
It was a dark color suit. I cannot recall the exact. Remember that it was black. It's 3 years back.
Egqoke imbala engathi ihambelana nomnyama nobulu asakhumbula ukuthi kahle kahle kwakuwumbala onjani.
So you can you tell the court what accused number 2 was wearing on that day?
Ngakwazi yini ukuthi umsolo wesibili wayegqoke ngalelo langa?
I can recall that he was wearing a bluish type of jeans.
Sakhumbula ukuthi wayengathi wayegqoke ibhokati engathi blue hlaza besibhakabhaka.
And a long sleeve shirt
athi egqoke nehembe elinomkhono
or
emide.
t-shirt.
Any jacket?
Ibhantshi lona?
I can't remember, but it can be possible that he was having, because it was June, it was cold.
Athi hayi angisakwazi ukukhumbula kodwa kungenzeka ukuthi waligqokile ngoba kwakuJune futhi kwakubanda.
Yes. That man with the suit, it was the first time to see him that day.
Kwakuqala yini ubona lo yande egqoke isuti ngalelo langa?
That is correct.
Kunjalo.
The accused person was not the first time to see him that day, correct?
It was.
Ongena ukuqala embona unjalo.
It was my first time seeing the accused.
Kwakuqala mina ngibona umsolo wesibili.
Okay. The evidence of Mr. Jonathan is to the effect that beside the version of the accused, the evidence of Mr. Jonathan is to the effect that he was with you when he was called for an escort to Moroka police station.
Mobu Jonathan walethu fazi ngokuthi wayenawe ngesikhathi nicela ukuthi nizophelezela nisuka esikhumulweni samaphoyisa saseMoroka.
Please note, we don't remember Constable Jonathan testifying to the defect. May I take a break, my lord? Can you take a break so that I can consult my notes?
Yeah, I also
I'm sure that
you say this was also at Moroka.
He was in company of his crew member, the colored guy.
At Moroka police station.
To Moroka police station.
Okay. 15 minutes break. Yes.
I look at to rephrase my question. Rephrase my question.
Which question of this?
I put to the witness that he was with Jonathan
At Moroka.
at Moroka police station.
He was never there with him, eh?
I beg you.
Was he ever there with him?
May I just rephrase my question?
Okay.
So, on the 19th of June 2020, did you report on duty?
Mhla 19 kuJune 2020 wawusemsebenzini?
No, my lord, I was on leave on the 19th of June.
Cha, ngangingekho emsebenzini, ngangishaya ikheli.
All right, thank you. So, you said for the first time you saw accused number 2 was on the 24th.
That is correct, my
Usho
lord.
waqala ukubona umsolo wesibili ngomhla 24 yebo kunjani?
Immediately after the alleged confession was made before Mrs. Cronier, you said you took the accused number 2 back to Pretoria Ward.
That is correct, my lord.
Emva ukuthi ke kuvunywe isono kuMrs. Cronier umsolo wesibili njengoba kubekiwe. Uthe wamthatha umsolo wamisa ePretoria Ward wathi yebo.
If accused number 2 were to tell the court that inside room 2 where the alleged confession was taken, he did not sign any document, you would disagree with that version?
Uzophikisana yini nokuthi umsolo athi umsolo wesibili athi hayi akho lutho alisayina lapha phakathi kwalelo gumbi lelo?
My lord, I cannot confirm that as I was not present in room 2.
Cha ngeke ngikwazi ukuletha isiqiniseko salokho ngoba ngangingekho ngaphakathi kwalelo gumbi lesibili.
If he says he was taken to Germiston next to an industrial area where the assault continued, and that's when he was ordered to sign the papers, and it's my instruction that you were also present when he was forced to sign the documents.
Wathatha eseJermiston lapha afika aphoqa khona ukuthi akasayinde kuthiwa nawe ukhona uthini ngalo?
My lord, I can confirm that Mr. Ngomezulo's client is lying to him. He is not telling the truth. He was never taken to Germiston. He was taken straight to Moord SAPS from Boksburg. And I also cannot confirm that the papers were signed in in a bush somewhere. I was not present when he signed any documents in a bush.
hayi ngakhawula nje ukuthi umsola kusho ukuthi uqamba amanga ngoba akazange asuswe wayiswa endaweni yaseJemiston, wasuswa waqondiswa endaweni yase-Pretoria Moat, futhi ke akukho maphepha asayindwa emahlathini.
And the last part of the version is that at all times he was handcuffed from behind.
Futhi ukuthi ke ngaso sonke isikhathi wayefakwe uzankosi izandla zengemuva.
I can confirm that he was handcuffed in front when he was taken from Wood into the Mr. Mohane's car and then at court also. So I cannot confirm inside room number 2 was he handcuffed or not.
So ngachaza ke nje ukuthi wayefakwe uzankosi izandla zengaphambili ethathwa yiswa emoto efakwe emotweni yiswa enkantolo, kodwa ke mase lapha ngaphakathi kwaleyakho angeke ngikwazi ukuchaza ukuthi wayesafakiwe yini uzankosi noma cha.
Thank you, my Lord. I have no further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Mnisi.
Thank you, my Lord. I have no questions. Thank you.
No questions, Mr. Nima. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Jordan.
Thank you, my Lord. Sir, you said in the passage it's just only you and Jonathan who complied with the request of the magistrate that you provide your appointment certificate.
Uthi lapha pasejini kwakuwena noJonathan abakwazi ukuthi bakhiphe lezi ncwadi zokuqashwa ezazicelwa imanje.
That is correct, my Lord.
Athi yebo kunjani.
How many were the members who refused to provide their appointment certificate?
Bangakayike abala ukukhipha izincwadi zabo zokuqashwa.
I cannot confirm that they refused to give the appointment certificate, but the number of members, including Sergeant Mohale, what them was 4.
Manje ngikwazi ukuletha isiqiniseko sokuthi bala ukuzikhipha lezi ncwadi, kodwa ke ababe lapho sifaka ngaphakathi noSergeant Mohane babe bani.
Okay, but Sergeant Mohane did provide his
Yes.
documents to the magistrate.
Correct.
I'm asking those who did not give their documents as per the request of the magistrate. How many members were
Manje ke
they?
labo bangakwazanga ukuzikhipha lezi ncwadi njengoba becelwe imanje babe bangaki?
If my mind serves me well, about 3, approximately 3.
Uma ngikhumbula kahle babe bathathu.
Okay. And from which unit were they coming from?
Babephuma kulezi iqembu.
From the SWAT unit.
Babephuma ku SWAT unit.
Ah, okay. What are their names?
Magama abo?
Constable Butelezi,
Constable Butelezi,
And your ends?
Constable Mapumulo,
Constable Mapu,
and Constable Monareng.
no Constable Munari.
Were they also armed like yourselves?
Na babeshome njengawo.
Correct?
Athi yebo kunjalo.
Did you see them any time after they had left the passage, they disappeared from the passage? Did you see them any time later after that in the magistrate
Emva
premises?
ukuthi basiphume kulelo passage lapha waphinda wabona futhi.
Yes, my lord. When we were called to fetch the suspect and take him back to the vehicles and escort him to Moat SAPS.
Yebo, ngabona sesiphinde sabizwa ukuthi sizophelezela umsola simphindisela eMoat police station.
Or did they go with you to fetch the accused from the magistrate office?
Bahamba nani ukuthi niyolanda umsola emahhovisini ka-magistrate?
No, my lord. They stayed behind at the vehicles, and myself and Constable Jonathan went inside.
Cha basale emotweni mina noConstable Jonathan thina sangena ngaphakathi.
Okay, but their cars was still remained inside the magistrate court when the statement was taken.
Kodwa ke imoto zabo zazingaphakathi
From
emahlekeni
accused number two.
ka-magistrate court isikhathi istatement isithathu.
That's correct. The vehicles
Kunjani?
were stationary at the car park.
Imoto zazimile lapho ekhapho.
And they also remained there in their cars.
Nabo bahlala ke besemotweni.
Correct, my lord.
Yebo kunjani?
Thank you, my lord. I've got no further question.
No, thank you, my lord.
Yes. Sir, how long have you been in the South African police force?
Usenesikhathi kanjani esinganani usenzela isiphoyisa sasemzansi?
My service in the metro and police is 35 years.
35 years.
Yes, sir.
Umsebenzi wami ke metro usehamashumi amathathu nanhlanu eminyaka.
Just going to ask you a short procedure. What happens when an inmate is inside the cell and he has properly been booked into that cell and he is assaulted? What happens normally? Either by the police or other inmates.
Manje kwenzekani ke uma umsole ngaphakathi eseleni evalele lapha eseleni bese iyashaywa engashaywa mhlawumbe amaphoyisa noma abanye abasona?
They must report it to the person that is in charge of the cells or the CSC commander as soon as they come and visit the cells, my lord.
Manje masebenza bezovakashela amaseli bafanele lo bakubike ku-CSC commander.
Because of your experience, do you know if, for instance, how many visits are paid to each cell? Inspection, complaints per day, about how many visits?
Normally it's during the shift change, and also there's random visits that are done at the cells at random times.
Right.
Athi abantu bavakashelanga ke ngosuku ukuthi kuzohlola aboshwa abangaphakathi emaseleni athi hayi kwenzeka lokho uma kuwukuthi sekuzoshiyelwana ngama-shift and futhi ke kungenzeka ukuthi ezikhathini ezingabekiwe ukuthi uzoba isikhathi sini uvele nje ahambe beyohlolwa ukuthi besili kanjani.
During inspection time, if an inmate says, I've got a toothache, let's take a simple one, I've got a toothache, what does the commanding officer in the cells do?
They would normally then request an ambulance, or if there's no ambulance available, they would arrange for an escort to take the inmate to the nearest hospital, nearest to the police station, my lord.
Manje masuthi umuntu ke uyakhona ndawo ukuthi ushushwa yezini. Manje ke ucommanding officer ukhona ke lapha ufanele enzeni? Ukuthi hayi bafanele bazama ukuthi bambizele iambulance noma kumingekho iambulance ke bamphelezele esibhedlela esiseduze kakhulu kunala ehleli khona kulawo masela.
If an inmate is assaulted, doesn't matter where, and then he's booked into the cell, right?
Yes, madam.
If he complains to the cell officer who keeps the OB, what is the cell officer supposed to do?
He is supposed to be make an OB entry there as to the injuries or whatever complaint that has been directed to him by the suspect. So he need to complete full OB entry and also report it to the senior that is in charge of the shift at that specific police station.
Those are standing orders, am I correct?
That is correct, my lord.
It's not just a fancy of a frolic of a policeman on his own. These are tabulated in standing orders.
That is correct, my lord.
Manje asithi ke iphoyisa likhona lapho mhlambe lo ophethe kuleyo ndawo la emaseli ngaleso sikhathi kuyathola ukuthi khona umuntu oshayiwe obese ke letha ke isikhalo sakhe kwenzekani wathi hayi ke khona into ezobhalwa lapha ku-OB ibhala ukuthi lo muntu ulimele kanjani noma kwenzekeni kuyena. Manje ke lo obaphethe ke yena ke ufanele aziswe naye ukuthi kunjalo. Athi beza ukuthi hayi ke le imgomo ebekiwe yena athi yebo imgomo ebekiwe.
When a person, an inmate or a suspect, is brought into the cells after having been taken out to court, right?
Yes, my lord.
Or having been taken out on investigation, then he's brought into the cells. What normally happens?
He will normally be inspected by the person in charge of the cells and ask him, does he have any injuries and does he have anything to report as to what happened outside when he was outside. If there's nothing to report, the cell sergeant or the warrant officer will also make an entry to say the suspect was booked in by Constable Liesering free from injuries after he was booked, detained.
Manje uma ukuthi nangu umsolwa uphumile asithi uhambe kwaya la kuyokwenzwa khona uphenyo noma uphumile nje waya enkantolo yini ke eyenzwayo ke uma esebuyiswa cha lo phethe lapho ufanele amhlole abese ke yabuza ke nombuzo ukuthi khona yini afisa ukuphawula ngako mayelana nokuthi kwenzekeni ngesikhathi bephumile. Manje ke loyo wasemephendula athi warrant officer uthi ufeyabhala ukuthi umesebuyiswa lapho hayi abekungena lutho oluphawuliwe futhi akukho lutho alubonile kumsolo.
Right. The assertion by accused number 2 is that you were present when he was assaulted.
Can you just repeat that question, my lord? I didn't...
The assertion
yes.
put by Mr. Ngomezulu, accused number 2's counsel,
Yes.
even number 1's counsel, that when you were doing those duties of escorting, at some stage you were present when the 2 accused were assaulted.
I can confirm here in front of the court, my lord, I was never involved in or witnessed any assault in my presence.
Manje kuthiwa-ke isikhathini phela zomsolo wokuqala nomsolo wesibili kubekiwe la enkantolo ukuthi nanikhona ngesikhathi beshawa ukuthi hayi ngasilethe isiqiniseko sokuthi angizange ngishaye noyedwa wabo futhi angizange ngibone noyedwa wabo eshaya.
Any investigation commenced by IPD regarding your conduct as a police person who allegedly assaulted accused number 1 and 2 when they were in your custody, when you were escorting them with others?
Up until today, nothing, my lord.
Athi hayi IPD ayikeze izophenya ngokuthi ngabe kube nokwenziwe kumsolo wokuqala nowesibili ngesikhathi sibaphelesa.
Any charges? Assault, GBH, assault, attempted murder, you have never been charged?
No.
Because allegedly accused number 2 and 1 when they were in your custody as an escort were assaulted allegedly by yourself, or you were present when they were assaulted?
No, I was never called by any investigators in connection with any assault, my lord.
Any questions arise?
The version that was put to you related to accused number 2 only, not accused number 1. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree, my lord.
Thank you, my lord. No further questions.
Question arising?
Then my lord, I have no questions.
Next question arising?
Thank you, madam. Sir, at the station, at the CSC, do you know if or when a person is detained, he is informed of the right to report assault by other police officers to another police officers who are at the stations? Do you know if that right is specific, explained to an inmate when is it detained, that if you have been assaulted, you have a right to report assault to the police officers here at the CSC?
Manje umsolwa kumevalelo lapha eCSC uyachazelwa yini ukuthi unelungelo lokuthi uma engashawa elinye iphoyisa uyakwazi ukuthi ayofuna elinye iphoyisa alichazele ukuthi ushayiwe, bayachazelwa yini lokho?
As per the standing orders at the cells or at any CSC, they have to explain to arrested person that is booked in to the cells.
Kufanele ukuthi laba ababoshiwe bachazele uma befakwa emaselini ukuthi banalelo lungelo.
Which standing orders are you referring to? You are employed as a Metro Police officer, am I correct?
That is correct.
Which standing orders are you referring to? Standing orders by Metro Police or standing orders for the SAPS?
For the SAPS.
Bathi ukhuluma ngemigomo ebekelwe esiphoyisa South Africa noma ise-Metro Police.
Which standing order? Can you tell us the standing order number that refers to a right?
I cannot give it to you now because I do not have it on hand, my lord.
Nginayo inombolo yale migomo lona so angikwazi ukubeka phambi kwami.
You cannot give the number for that standing order because it doesn't exist. There is no inmate who is told when he's detained that you've got a right to report the assault at the station.
So ukwazi ukuthi ukhiphe leyo number ya leyo mgomo noma standing order ngoba ayikho into njengaleyo, ayekho umuntu ophoqelekayo ukuthi atshelwe ukuthi uma kuwukuthi uyashawa unelungelo ukuthi angabaceba laba bamshaya.
For now, I cannot comment any further on that because that is your version that you put in front of the court.
And specifically with accused number 2 here, when he was detained, you do not know whether he was told that he has a right to report the assault if he has been assaulted outside the SAPS or inside the police cells. You don't have that information.
Akazange atshelwe lutho ngalo ukuthi uma ungathi uyashawa unelungelo lokuthi ayokwazi ukusho ukuthi ushayile.
Because I was never present when he was put back into the SAPS cells.
Hayi ngoba ngangingekho ke mase buyiselwa emaseleni ase.
Thank you. I've got no further questions.
Yeah, just for the edification. There's evidence here that when accused number 2 was allegedly arrested in Phokeng, he was handed a statutory document which encapsulates his Section 35 rights. Do you know of such a document which is normally supposed to be signed at the CSR?
Yes, it's a SAP 14A, the notification of rights.
That's it, yeah, okay. Thank you. Any questions arising?
No.
No questions?
None.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Is it please, my lord? The state calls the next witness is Constable Jabulani Dominic Butelezi. He's not on the witness list, my lord.
Jabulani Dominic
Butelezi. And my lord, there have been a number of exhibits that have been introduced and that will still be introduced. We have updated the lists of exhibits that I shared with my colleagues yesterday.
Thank you.
The new list starts at number 78. 78 on page 6.
Okay.
Exhibit 00. It's the copy of the charge sheet for the Tembisa court case with the first appearance on the 1st of June.
You're saying the first appearance was what?
The 1st of June 2020.
June 2020.
Yes.
Tembisa.
Yes, Tembisa. I'll just hand it up just now with the rest of the exhibits. Then exhibit PP has already been referred to by Advocate Nishololo. It's there's exhibit PP1, which is the occurrence book from Phukeng Police Station. Then exhibit PP2, it's the cell register from Phukeng Police Station. Then exhibit QQ, which pertains to accused number 2. It's the occurrence book entry from Primrose Police Station, dated June 20 up to the 22nd June. Then exhibit RR, also pertains to accused number 2, is copy of the charge sheet of Phukeng Court with the first appearance on the 22nd of June 2020. Then exhibit SS will be the occurrence book entries from Pretoria Moors Police Station for the period 22 to 24 June. Then exhibit TT, which this witness is going to testify about, is the J50 warrant of arrest against MCB, accused number 1. Then exhibit UU1, which has already been referred to. UU1 is the extract of entries from forceful arrest court cells register. Then exhibit UU2 is the occurrence book entry from forceful arrest court cells. We beg leave to hand up all these exhibits, Mahmoud. My learned friends have been furnished with copies. Exhibit QQ is the first page of exhibit QQ must actually be the last page. We hand up the one that is correctly bound.
So you say this witness is testifying on, amongst others, exhibit QQ.
Exhibit TT.
TT, sorry.
TT,
okay.
If my police
Yes.
The state calls the next witness, Constable Jabulani Dominic Buthelezi.
Yes, sir, the witness.
As the court pleases. Uzokhuluma lokune.
Isizo.
Ngicela usho amagama akho wonke ephelele nesibongo.
Magama uJabulani Dominic Buthelezi.
Uzoba nenkinga ngokuthatha isifungo.
Cha.
No objection to taking the prescribed oath, my lord. Uyavuma yini ukuthi leso sifungo siyakubophezela ukunembezela ukuthi ukumnembeza wakho ukuthi ukhuluma iqiniso?
Siyangibophezela.
I confirm, my lord. Uma ukuthi uzokhuluma iqiniso, kuyiqiniso phela, kungekho okunye ngaphandle kweqiniso. Phamisa isandla sakho sokunene uthi uNkulunkulu akusize.
uNkulunkulu angisize.
So on, my lord.
Is it correct that you are a constable in the service of Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Police Department?
Kuyiqiniso ukuthi usenze isiphoyisa semetro Ekurhuleni Metro?
Kuyiqiniso.
That is correct.
When were you appointed at Ekurhuleni Metro?
Waqashwa nini Ekurhuleni Metro?
2003.
It was in 2003.
June.
It was in June.
Is it correct that at some point there was a unit called SWAT?
Kuyiqiniso yini ukuthi kwesinye isikhathi kwake kwaba ne-unity ekwakuthiwa iSWAT?
Qiniso.
That is correct.
What does that acronym stand for?
Manje leli gama elithi SWAT limeleni?
Special Weapons and Tactics.
The acronym stands for Special Weapons and Tactics.
Were you a member of that unit at any stage?
Wayilungu lalelo qembu kwesinye isikhathi?
Kuyiqiniso.
That is correct.
For which period?
Kuziphi isikhathi?
Mhla lisungulwa kuze lihlukaniswe.
From its inception until it was disbanded.
Yes, can you just give us those periods?
Ungasinika ke isikhathi ukuthi laqala nini laze lahlukaniswa nini?
Laqala ngo-2004.
It was formed in 2004.
Lase lipheliswa ngo-2020.
And it was disbanded in 2020.
Uma ngisakhumbula.
If I remember correctly.
Did this unit render any assistance to the investigating team in this matter?
Manje leli thimba leli lacela yini ukuthi libe nosizo ku laba ababephenya lolu daba?
Yebo.
That is correct.
Do you know Sergeant Mohola, who is part of the investigating team in this matter?
Uyamazi yini uSergeant Mohola omunye wabaphenyi kulolu daba?
Yebo.
That is correct.
Can you tell the court in your own words as to what happened on the 30th of May 2020?
Manje ungakwazi yini ukuthi uchazele inkantolo ukuthi kwenzekani ngomhla 30 kuMay 2020?
Bengisemsebenzini in full uniform.
I was at work on duty in full uniform.
Ngathola ucingo
I received a call.
kuSergeant Mohola.
It came from Sergeant Mohola.
Yes.
acela usizo
He was requesting help.
Is that correct that she's female?
Kuyiqiniso yini ukuthi ungowesifazane?
kuyiqiniso.
That is correct.
Yes.
Usizo bemayelana nokuboshwa komlisi thizeni.
It was regarding the arrest of a certain person.
Yes.
Sahlanganela ku car parking yase Tembisa police station but not le ejwayelekile akule area besikuyo.
We met at the Tembisa police station in the car park, but not the usual car park, but in where we were.
Not the usual Tembisa police, the main one. On the police station.
Well, I meant not the usual Tembisa police station, but there is another Tembisa police station.
Yes.
Bengamba no constable Sadiki.
I was in the accompaniment of Constable Sadiki.
Yes.
Sahlangana nomamfundisi eThembisa wankhombisa i-warrant of arrest. Sergeant Mohale, so court name mamfundisi.
We then met with Sergeant Mohola, and then she showed us the warrant of arrest.
Just want to show you a document which serves as Exhibit TT before this court. Are you able to identify that document?
Uyakwazi yini ukusho ukuthi yalazi yini leli phepha ulinikiwe?
Lifana ncamashi nalelo mamfundisi anginikeza lona eThembisa.
It looks exactly the same as the document that was handed over to me by Sergeant Mkhula at Tembisa.
Yes.
Bese besamthungatha ngendlela zabo umuntu lo besimfuna ukuthi ubekuphi nendawo.
They were still trying to find out where the person that we were looking for was.
Yes.
Salinda isikhashanyana alibakhuluma uSergeant Mkhula alibakhuluma ngocingo.
We waited a while Sergeant Mkhula was on the phone.
Yes.
Ekugcineni ke sase sitshelwa uSergeant Mkhula ukuthi umlisa lo uyabonakala ukuthi ukuphi.
Ultimately, we were told by Sergeant Mkhula that they had received information where the suspect was.
Well, the state will be calling Sergeant Mkhula later. Yes, we proceed.
Sanikezwa ke uhlobo lezimpahla ngemibala ebesigqokile. Ihlobo lwezimpahla ukuthi ubegqoke kanjani.
We were given a description of what she was wearing. What he was wearing.
And the color.
And the colors of the garments.
Yes.
Qhubeka.
Sanikezwa nokuthi indlu leyo ibisemgwaqeni nje omkhulu walapho.
And we're also informed that that particular house was on one of the main streets there, and there was no fence. There was no fence in front of the yard.
Yes, you may proceed.
Qhubeka.
Sasesiqhubeka ke siyakhona ke Constable Sadiki.
We then proceeded thence with Constable Sadiki.
Yes. This is now you, Sadiq, and who?
Kwakuwena uSadiki nobani?
Bokuyimina noSadiki noSergeant Mokhula.
It was the three of us, me, Constable Sadiki, and Sergeant Mokhula.
Yes.
Masifika laphana mina no Constable Sadiki sasesiqondana nalamadoda.
On arrival there, I and Constable Sadiki went to confront those men.
On arrival where?
Manfika.
Kule ndlu le esilayelwe kuyo ukuthi bame kuyo.
And when arrival at the house which we had been informed, the men were standing there.
Yes.
Okay, bebame ngaphandle kwendlu phakathi ejardini eceleni kwefence.
They were standing outside the house within the yard next to the fence.
Now if you say they, how many were they?
There were two of them.
Yes.
La bebeme khona kuduze kuseduzane nomgwaqo, which means mawehla enqoleni naba laba mekhona eceleni.
Where they were standing is very close to the road. So when we stopped at the road, they were very close to us.
Yes.
Ukubaqonda kwethu saconducta lento ebizwa i-tactical takedown.
When we approached them, we used what is called a tactical
takedown.
Yes, and what does that entail?
Tactical takedown.
I-tactical takedown usebenzisa izwi eliqinile ukuthi umuntu lo oya kuye umqondo wakhe ungahlanganelwa.
The tactical takedown we use a very authoritative voice so that his mind must not be confused. So that his mind must be confused.
Yes.
We requested them to lie down.
Yes. Umuntu besimfuna besesemazi ukuthi umophi kodwa sabakhuthuza sababuza amagama abo.
We already had knowledge of the person that we were looking for, but we still searched them and then tried to get their names.
Yes.
Abazange bakhombisa ukulwa.
They did not show any resistance.
Yes.
Lo esimfunayo umuzi kaUkhulelwa Sibiya wazisho igama lakhe ukuthi uyena umuzi kaUkhulelwa Sibiya.
The one that we were looking for, whose name was Khulelwa Sibiya, informed us that it was indeed he.
Yes.
Mase ngimchazisela ke mina ukuthi uyafuneka ngecala in terms of this warrant of arrest ebesiphethe.
I then explained to him that he was required to answer for a case according to the warrant that we had.
Yes.
Ngase ngumbuza ukuthi uyiphethe yini umazisi wakhe na.
I then asked him if he has his ID on him.
Yes.
Wathi umazisi ula ahlala khona.
It then said his ID book is back where he stays.
Yes.
Wathi akukho okuteni.
He said that place was not very far.
Yes.
Umuzi kaUkhulelwa ngamtshela amalungelo akhe.
I then informed Mr. Khulelwa his rights.
Just a minute. And what are those rights?
Ukuthi njengoba boshwa unelungelo lokuba nommeli othandwa uyena futhi ongakhokhelwa uyena uma engenayo imali. Istate singakhona ukumnikeza ummeli mahala ngamkhokheli.
I told him that he has the right to have a lawyer who is paid by him, and that if he is unable to pay for a lawyer and cannot afford a lawyer, then the state would provide a lawyer for him, and which lawyer is not paid for.
Yes.
Unelungelo lokuthula ngasho lutho ngoba konke azokusho kungahle kanye kuzosetshenziswa njengobufakazi enkantolo.
I told him that he has the right to remain silent and that whatever he said would be used as evidence in a court of law.
Yes.
Kanti futhi nalo nelungelo lakadokotela ongakhokhelwa uyena namthandayo kanti futhi uma enganayo imali kumkhokhela lo dokotela istate umbuso ungakhona ukumnikeza udokotela wamahala.
I also informed him that he has the right to have a doctor of his own choice who is paid by him, or alternatively if he cannot afford a doctor, he can then be provided with a state doctor who will be paid by the state.
Towards which ends, as far as this explanation regarding the doctor?
Kubalulekile uma utshela umuntu amalungelo wakhe mhlawumbe uma enegulo okuthize.
It is important to, when you are informing a person of their right and they have a certain illness,
ukuthalazi lolo lungelo lelo lokuthi unalo ilungelo lokukhetha udokotela ofuna yena uma ezomkhokhela.
That if they have an ailment of sorts, then they have a right to find their own doctor if they are going to pay for that doctor.
Yes.
Nokuthi nelungelo lakhe lokuthi unalo ilungelo lokuthi angathola angakwazi ukushaya ucingo uma eseboshiwe.
I also informed him of his right to make a phone call after he's been arrested.
Yes.
Unelungelo lokuthi angavalelwa for more than 74 hours of working days.
I also informed him that he has the right to not be incarcerated for more than 74 hours, which are only part of a working day.
Yes, we proceed.
Selokugcina ilungelo lokuthi aphathwe ngobuntu hayi ngobundlavini.
The last one is that he must be handled with care and not callously.
Not violently.
Not violently.
Yes.
Ngase ngumfakoza Nkosi.
I then handcuffed him.
Yes.
Ngamfakoza Nkosi ngasemuva.
I handcuffed him from the back.
Sasesiqhubeka siyala ahlala khona.
Then we proceeded to where he was residing.
Did you know where he was residing?
Uyena wasikhombisa.
He directed us there.
Yes.
Ubenenkinga ke umuzika ukhulelwa kakhulu ngebhruku ayegqokile wayefise ukulishintsha.
He appeared to have a problem with the trouser that he was wearing, and he desired to change it.
Yes.
Masifika kulomkhukhu lo mawungena egate umkhukhu uthana ngaka left.
When we arrived at the shack, when we entered the gate, the shack was to the left.
And how far was this shack from the place where you initially found him in the company of the other person?
Manje lo mkhukhu wawude kangakanani ukusuka la enamthola khona?
Less than a kilometer.
It was less than a kilometer. Ayungaphansi kwe-kilometer.
What happened to the other person that was with him?
Manje lo muntu owayenaye wena kwenzakani ngaye?
Samyeka.
We released him.
Yes, we proceed.
Umkhukhu loyo umangalelo okhomba ngekhanda senze kusho ukuthi nawo.
The accused directed us and pointed the shack with his head.
Yes.
The shack was locked with a chain. There was a padlock outside.
Yes.
Isikhiyabe sesikhomeni sakhe saka right.
The key was in his right pocket.
ngendlela ukuthi wathi mathi ngisikhiphe wathi sikhiyasile.
When he showed me, when he said I can take the key out, he said the key is here. The witness indicated that there was a movement of the hands that were handcuffed from the back to move towards the right side of the body.
Yes. He
then asked me to take the key out and open the shack.
Yes.
On entering the shack, the first thing in front of you would be a bed.
Yes. Ubungamkhulu kakhulu lo mkhukhu loyo ngalendlela leyo ukuthi ubuncike ebondeni bese kuba nesikhahlanyana la ohamba khona eceleni kombhede.
The shack was not very large. The bed was pushed against one of the walls, and then there was a small walking space on the other side of the bed.
Yes. Ubese ngikhomba ngekhanda ukuthi ngibheke between umattress nebase.
He then showed me by gesticulating with his head to search between the mattress and the base.
To search for umazisi wakhe.
We're looking for his ID.
Yes. I
did not find his ID there.
Yes.
And then also gesticulated with his head, saying that we can look in at any other place.
Yes. La ngibheka khona embedeni phezulu bekulenga iplastic.
Where I was checking on the bed, just above that there was a plastic that was hanging there.
Yes. Asengilidonsa-ke le plastic engibuka kulo. Plastic. Plastic nje.
Well, I then pulled on the plastic that was hanging above the bed.
Part to plastic beginning plastic ebelibambe plastic.
Inside that plastic there was another plastic that was attached to another plastic.
Yes. Okay, mangivula phakathi kuneyinhlamvu ezingasetshenzisiwe.
When I opened that plastic, I discovered unused bullets, live bullets.
Yes. One magazine, one cleaning rod.
There was also one magazine, there was also one cleaning rod.
many rounds of ammunition were there?
Iy'nhlamvu lezo sasingakhi?
Yo, khohliwe seside lesikhathi.
I'm unable to record, it's a long time ago.
Can you perhaps remember the caliber thereof?
Manje uyakwazi ukukhumbula ukuthi ezingakanani lezi iy'nhlamvu?
Is a 9mm.
It was a 9mm rounds.
You mentioned that there were two plastic. Were they in the inner plastic or the outer one?
Manje uthe kunoplast ababili. Kwakuyile plastic ongaphakathi noma lo ngaphandle?
Kuleli ngaphakathi.
It was in the inner plastic.
Yes.
Ngase ngombuza ke ummangalelwa ukuthi unayo yini i-license.
I then asked the suspect if he has a license.
Yes, and he then made a report to you.
Wasekuphendula.
Wathi cha akanayo.
Yes, he made a report to you. What happened further?
Ngase ngumchazela ukuthi ngiyambopha ngizombophela zona le nhlamvu lesi.
I then informed him that I am putting him under arrest for the possession of these live rounds.
Yes.
Ngase ngibiza uSergeant Mkhola obengaphandle.
I then invited Sergeant Mkhola, who was outside, to come in.
Yes. And where was Constable Sadiq when you made this discovery?
Bekaphakathi emkhukhweni.
He was inside the shack.
Yes, you may proceed.
Konke lokho engakuthola uSergeant Mkhola wakufaka phakathi kwe-evidence bag.
All that I found there were taken by Sergeant Mkhola, and she placed all those inside an evidence bag.
Yes.
And this was done in front of the accused.
Yes.
Enye ngaqonda ukuthi phakathi emkhukhwini impahla bekweza kamangalelwa and bekucaca nokuthi uhlala yedwa.
What I also observed inside the shack was that everything that was inside there belonged to the accused, and then it was evident as well that he was living alone.
Yes, and what made you to draw the conclusion that everything belonged to the accused?
Ewardrobhini bokuyimpahla zakhe ngale ndlela lokuthi uyacela ukuthi ashintshe ibhlukwe leli.
Inside the wardrobe, it was only his clothes that were there, and as a result he asked us if he could have a change of clothes and put a different trouser.
Yes, and did that happen?
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Yes, may continue.
Kwaneyicathulo ube gqoka ikhavela makaboshwa wasucela ukufaka kunalobo phaca ababhulwe white ukuthi ashintshe ukhavela afake lobo phaca.
Well, he was wearing branded shoes with the brand Kavela, but he made a request to take those shoes off and put on beach shoes.
Put on what?
Beach shoes, black and white, blue and white.
Blue and white.
Blue and white beach shoes. Flip flops, my lord.
Yeah. I didn't want to give evidence.
Yes.
Okunye futhi okwangenza ukuthi ngikholwe ngibe nenkolo ukuthi laphana bekune TV ibingasebenzi ne fridge encane ibingasebenzi ngaphakathi kwayo bekhona nje isitsha esinolile phakathi kwesinye isitsha leso kwashela isitsha.
Awuqala phansi kusho uthe phakathi kokune fridge engcole.
I-fridge encane mangiyivula le fridge.
Well, what also convinced me was that there was a very small fridge, and when I opened that fridge, there was a single plate which was unwashed.
Yes.
Almost zonke impahla zakhe wardrobe same size.
All the clothes that were in the wardrobe were the same size.
Yes, you may proceed.
Bese ke masiqeda ukuyiqiniseka uSergeant sathi ke ayitholile umtholile umazisi wakhe. Yeah, Sergeant sathi wathola umazisi wakhe.
Sergeant Sajiki managed to find his ID book.
Yes, where?
Wardrobe.
It was found in the wardrobe.
Yes.
Then uSergeant Mkhula wase ucela ukukhuluma nommangalelwa.
Then Sergeant Mkhula made a request to speak to the suspect.
Just a minute. Did you perhaps have the opportunity to look at the particulars of that identity document?
Yebo.
Yes, we were.
Yes. Well, whose particulars appeared on the ID?
Okammangalelwa qobo lwakhe.
The ID pointed to the accused.
Yes, but explain to the court why do you say so? What particulars were there?
Amagama aphelele isibongo.
It was the names, the full names and the surname,
kanye nesithombe
as well as the picture of the accused.
God, please, my Lord, will this be an appropriate time to take the long adjournment?
Okay.